that if you do, you can start with 5 or 10, but go up to a maximum of 54. So this time I showed you with the left nostril. Now we'll do it with the right nostril. So for the right nostril, we will use the left hand. The left thumb should close the left nostril, and again focus should be only on exhalation. So first time you inhale and then you focus only on exhale. Okay. Again, during exhalation, the stomach keeps going inside. So, like this. If you now this was a demonstration that I showed. Now I would like that you also practice along first, because most of you would be doing for the first time. We will do only 5 exhalations. Okay, focus should be on forceful exhalation only. Inhalation will automatically happen. So all of you can sit in Vajrasan or Sukhasana or Padmasana, asana or pose that you are comfortable in. We'll start with the left nostril first. If you experience or if you try an experiment, if you find that the left nostril is slightly blocked, okay, you are not able to breathe in very well, what you can do is with the help, slightly pinch the nostril, slightly pinch the left nostril and open it up, okay, so that the nasal passages are also open. This will help to breathe well. So we'll start with the left one first, the right one to be covered. Okay, this exercise, this breathing technique or this breathing exercise should be done with closed eyes, but because we will be seeing each other during this exercise, first we can try it with open eyes. Later on, it can be done with the closed eyes. So inhale deeply and then continuous exhalations, only 5. Okay. Since your videos are not on, I'm not able to see how you are doing it, but now we'll do it with the right nostril. So the left one is covered, and inhale deeply and only 5 exhalations. If you feel it is blocked, you can slightly, pinch and open it up. Okay, 5 from both sides, and now we'll do with both the nostrils together. So no need of closing any one side. What we will do is inhale and then continuously exhale for 5 times. Inhale. Okay, so 5 exhalations. Now the idea of doing Kapalbhati is like if you have seen an ironsmith, okay, ironsmith who works on the iron equipments or iron weapons, what he does is he keeps blowing air so that the fire continues to remain lit. So blowing air in that rod sounds like, and that's why Kapalbhati, the story that is related to this asana or this noise which comes during exhalation is related to an ironsmith who is at work. So similarly, our nostrils, both the nostrils are at work, and when we continue exhaling, this kind of a sound comes. So that is Kapalbhati. To start with, again I'll repeat, start with 5 or 10 times as you are comfortable. Maximum go up to 54, and then when you are doing it like 54 from the left nostril, 54 from the right, and then in total it becomes 108. If you want to try with both the nostrils together, then you do it for 108 times maximum. Okay, do not extend beyond that. Breathing from left or right nostril in a way regulates the body temperature. So it is important to do it for equal number of times from both. So if you are doing 10 from left, do 10 from right. Okay, don't disturb that number through which you will do for the left and right nostril. So for one more last time before we wind up for the today's session, one more time we'll practice Kapalbhati. This time try and do it with closed eyes. If you have got the technique right, you can keep your eyes closed, but if you still want to see how it is done, you can keep your eyes open and do it. So the instructions go like this. Sit in a comfortable asana, eyes to be softly closed without any pressure. Okay, first we start with the left. Closes the right pressure only slightly. Check your left nostril. If breathing is okay, we can start. If not, slightly pinch the left nostril and open up the nasal passages. Now we deeply inhale and do 5 exhalations only. So deeply inhale. Okay. Now with the right nostril, so the left thumb closes the left nostril, slightly pinch the right nostril so that the nasal passages are open, clear, and it's easy to breathe. Deeply inhale and 5 exhalations only. Now with both the nostrils together, do not close any of the nostril. Hands to be placed on the knees. Inhale and for 10 times we will only exhale. Okay, forced, speedy exhalation. First, deeply inhale. Once you have exhaled completely for 10 times, stay in that exhaled position for a few seconds. No need of breathing. Just exhale, empty the lungs. It is possible that some air is still retained in the lungs. So once we exhale, be in that exhaled position. Now slowly inhale and now slowly exhale. Okay, and now you can open your eyes. So when we start Kapalbhati, it is important that the nasal passages be clear so that we can do it effectively from the left and right nostril both. If you feel uncomfortable doing this exercise, either you can clear up the nose before starting it, or you can keep a tissue or handkerchief with you while doing it. And if it is kind of disturbing you, practice it for lesser number of times. Instead of 10 or 5, do it only for 2 or 3 times, but slowly increase it. And in the end, when we come out of this breathing exercise or when we are ending it, slowly we have to be in that exhaled position and then slowly inhale and then exhale. Okay, so that was it from me for today. 2 asanas, Trikonasana, a triangle pose, and Supta Vajrasana, a Vajrasana in a sleeping position, and one breathing technique that is Kapalbhati. Kapalbhati is very good for, as a recommended time is for 3 to 5 minutes, not more than that. And if you have any questions pertaining to this, you can ask, put in the chat box. Otherwise, Manojji, I am done. You can take over.
Thank you very much. Any kids? Anybody have any questions for Jagrati ji? I have one question. Aran, you're not clear. We cannot hear you. Can you be a little bit closer?
So I had one question. So the all I wanted to ask was that why do we only have to stop at 54? Why can't we go over 54 when we do per nostril?
Sorry, why do we have to stop it?
Yeah, it's because you said that after 54 per nostril, you said to stop. So 54
Correct.
per nostril. Why can't we go over 54? That's what my
Okay,
question
so
was.
the logic or the reason for it is 54, and as I told, 54 from the left and 54 from the right, total makes it to 108 times. That is a good enough time. The time that you'll take, it is about one to 1.5 minutes. That is a sufficient time to do it. Practicing it for longer time can vary the temperature in the body. So either it can you can become more warmer or more cooler. The normal body temperature is not maintained if it is practiced for longer time. That's the only reason you have to stop once you are done with 54 strokes from the left and the right. So totaling it up to 108, that's the maximum you can do. If you want to do it again, take a break for a while and then do it.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Anybody have any other questions? Maybe one question for you, Jagrutiji. Over the last 8 sessions, you have learned about probably around 20 to 24 asanas, and then a few breathing techniques. So what's the schedule look like? Like how many asanas should you do per day? Maybe you can, in the interest of time, we don't have time today, but in the next session, can you give us a schedule, like how many asanas you should do in a day, how many days a week, and what time, which asanas? Yeah, I cannot hear you. You're mute.
What I'll do is I'll chart out a small program for beginners, which will have about 20 to 30 minutes of exercise. And I will share a synopsis of that. So
Okay.
beginners can, to begin with, that is what you can follow.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, Chagriji. Have a good weekend. Thank you for your time.
Yeah. Thanks for this opportunity.
So next we have Dr. Renu Pokarna. Dr. Renu Pokarna, have you joined this meeting? I don't see the name Renu. Okay.
Hello.
So I'm going to make you the host.
Hi.
Good morning, Dr. Renuji. Our next guest speaker is Dr. Renu Pokarna. She's a neurologist at University of South Carolina, Columbia. She specializes in clinical neurophysiology and in multiple sclerosis. Dr. Pokarna has organized and participated in several camps, including educating Indian community in prevention of strokes and heart attacks. And today, this is another meeting where she will be educating us regarding the benefits of meditation on brain. So welcome, Dr. Renu Pokarna. It's all yours now.
How do I have to share the slides by click on share screen,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay, and then where do I go? Just say share, or
You can share
start the PowerPoint first?
Yeah.
Okay. And let me open my PowerPoint and start from beginning. Okay, and now are you able to see my slides or not yet?
Yes.
I don't see the slides though. I still see myself. Are you able to see the slides?
Yeah, we can see your slides. Yes.
Oh, you can see. I see. I'm Renu Pokarna. I'm the neurologist, and I specialize in clinical neurophysiology and multiple sclerosis. I'm going to talk a little bit about the meditation and its effect on the body in general, but particularly about the brain. In these times, we live in a very stressful environment, especially as we see the pandemic happening and a lot of other things going around in the world. It stresses us out. There's pressure for students in college, in schools, for pressure for people who are working at work. There's a lot of pressure. We go through stress a lot during all these times. That creates a lot of anxiety. And to relieve this, we cannot be stressful all the time. And in order to relieve the stress, we need is the meditation. We used to think that meditation will have just a calming effect until it was proven by science that it does have an impact on our brain and overall health. So I'm just going to talk briefly about how it impacts us in many ways. So what is meditation? Um, First, I looked up on Merriam-Webster dictionary. The definition goes as to engage in contemplation or reflection, or to engage in mental exercise such as concentration on one's breathing or a repetition of a mantra for the purpose of reaching a heightened spiritual awareness. The meditation first developed in India. The oldest documented evidence for the meditation were found on the walls painted with art in Indian subcontinent about 5,000 to 3,500 years ago, before the current era, showing people in meditative postures with half-closed eyes. So we know that this must have existed in that era as well. It has been practiced by various religions all over the world. And not only Hindus, but Buddhists, Christians, Jewish, even Judaism, all of them have been found to practice meditation in some form or the other. Going briefly over the history of meditation, when we think of India and we think of old monks sitting in the village under the banyan tree, gazing and focusing on the fire at one point, focusing and concentrating at one spot, trying to forget or rechannelize that thoughts and energy into one location. That helps them improve the focus or concentration. However, in those back days, they also used to do certain type of things, hallucinogens, cannabinoids, etc. So it fell out of favor and did not become very popular among general population. Then almost over a period of time, we know that Jain monks, Jain Tirthankars were there. All of them attained the Keval Gyan, we call, or the absolute knowledge was achieved through meditation. Jainism, Vriksha meditation is very much popular among Jain people. Buddhists have their own different style. But these all meditations evolved about 2,600 or more years ago. In recent times, Dalai Lama has also played an important role in meditation. Recently, he invited a lot of scientists or neuroscientists to come and visit Dharmstal, which is a place in Nepal, and to do studies or research on people who have meditated and those who have not, in order to see whether meditation has an impact or not. He is now known as a very popular among neuroscientists, and he talks a lot about different modes of meditation and how it impacts our body. So meditation is a universal concept. Like we said, it is practiced by many people in various different religions and places. About 100 years ago, Swami Vivekananda gave a speech in Chicago about meditation. He talked a lot about it, And this practice, however, just remained as one of the talks. It did not become popular among general population. Later on, the two gurus, Deepak Chopra and Oprah Winfrey, they united and they tried to make it a little bit more commercialized version of it. However, still it did not become as popular as it has become today. The purpose of meditation is a habitual process of training the mind to focus and redirect your thoughts and eventually achieve a state of thoughtlessness. How do we do that? Is this whole process, we'll talk about a little bit in how to achieve that. But it can be used to increase the awareness of oneself and one's own surroundings. Many people think of it as a way to reduce stress and develop and sharpen their focus or concentration. There are many benefits of meditation. It reduces stress, controls anxiety, it enhances self-awareness, it lengthens our attention span. It may even reduce age-related memory loss, and we have seen that happen. It can generate kindness, compassion. It can help us fight addictions. It promotes emotional health as well as it improves sleep. I have to minimize this, I think. It helps control pain and it decreases blood pressure. So you can see there are lots of benefits of meditation right in one slide. There are various types of meditations available. Some of them are, we can choose any of them. The benefit from all of them is pretty similar. One of the form is breath watching. So we focus on the air going in and out of our nose for several minutes. As our mind wanders around, we try to refocus, rechannelize, bring it back to our breathing. Second type is empty mind meditation. This is a very difficult one to achieve, but by practice, we say nothing is impossible, right? So we sit still in cross-legged position. We let our mind go into silent mode. And we try to practice without wandering away. We try to redirect if the mind does wander away in several different directions. We try to direct mind and focus at one point. This is known to achieve awareness without the object. So there is not one focus of light or some kind of thing that we are focusing on. It's just us, by heightened awareness, are bringing our mind to either nothingness or thoughtlessness states. The mind is not blank, but instead, this is when the self-talk will cease. We talk to ourselves a lot, right? And by doing this, eventually we'll come to a state when we are not talking to ourselves. And in doing so, we are more aware of non-verbal sensations within ourselves. Our breathing, our feelings, our emotions, images that goes on in front of in our own mind. Another type is walking meditation. It's kind of similar to the breath watching meditation, but in this, in addition to the breathing, we also focus on the movement of the body and legs. And we are walking and we are trying to feel our feet contacting the ground. We are focusing on that and we are rechannelizing our mind that way. Another type of meditation is mindfulness meditation. Many years ago, Vipassana meditation became very popular and it still is popular, in which people go to a certain location and they go into a silence mode. They are not allowed to talk to anybody, just listen to the lectures and be aware and participate in all of the daily activities that's going on around them. Then we become deeply aware of what is happening around us at every moment, everything from breathing to our thoughts, our feelings, our surroundings, scenes that are going continuously in front of our eyes. The key is to watch without judging anything and without analyzing any situation. So that's the most meditation that's the most helpful or found to be most helpful by most people. Another type of meditation is simple mantra meditation. We are chanting a mantra, trying to concentrate on it and redirecting our wandering mind to focus on that. By repeating the word or a phrase, sitting in a meditation mode, chanting it out loud inside the head, whichever way, whatever way works for us, is one way of meditating. Another type is meditating on a concept. This technique is rare. It involves contemplation of an idea or a scenario. This is used to guide our understanding on certain things or rationalizing things that we cannot redirect our attention to. An extreme example of this is in Buddhist meditation on the corpses. They use various visualizations and contemplation techniques. This is, for example, a decomposing corpse, and meditate on the nature of death, because death is also reality of our lives. And then there are certain other kinds of meditations that I'll talk as we go along. So as we've already seen some of the physical and psychological benefits of meditation happening, and in every aspect of the body area, benefits have been noted. Now let's talk briefly about the scientific aspects of meditation. So the person who became responsible for meditation to become so popular in today's day and age was John Kabat-Zinn. He was a scientist from Harvard. He did a lot of experiments and gave talks upon various research studies that he had done. These, he talked about mindfulness research, and he took a lot of people with depression. He asked them first to go through the depression scales, in which this was a questionnaire. They filled it out, and they were then given this meditation or cognitive-based therapy for 8 weeks. Functional MRI of the brain was done before, and then eventually after 8 weeks of completing the meditation, cognitive therapy. They noted a lot of magical changes that happened even just simply by 8 weeks of meditation. What is functional MRI? So we know that MRI takes images of the brain, and we have seen MRIs, or some of you may have seen. A regular MRI can show us the structure of the brain and various different aspects. There are different types of images taken, and they are put together, can tell us whether it is a normal MRI or it has a disease such as stroke or multiple sclerosis or tumors, etc. This is about the structural aspect of it. But a functional MRI is an MRI that can actually show us the metabolism happening in the brain in that particular moment. So people are put in the MRI tunnel, or in the MRI is being done. They are asked to meditate while they are within the MRI screen. When they are in it, we can see the metabolism happening, and it is shown as red or bright areas, and we can tell if this type of meditation is done, this particular area is shown, and what particular areas light up eventually help us determine what circuitry is being used in that particular moment. In this way, if people have a depressed and negative thoughts, we can see or visualize which area is lighting up. If people have fearful thoughts while they are in the machine, we can see which area is lighting up, and accordingly, the mapping has taken place to let us know which emotion is located where. And having that knowledge and eventually comparing after the meditation is done for 8 weeks and seeing what happens later has helped us is determine that yes, meditation has an impact in a very positive way. And I'm going to show some images to confirm that. So in 2012, there was another scientist from Harvard again. She demonstrated that there were a lot of changes occurring in the brain in subjects who were meditating. They were holding themselves steady, and some of them who were not meditating. So she compared those before and after scans, and the other, so there was a control group that was just given talks about health issues or how to be healthy. But one group was taught how to meditate. So those two groups were different. So the one group was no meditation, another group was meditation. And then she scanned them, and she found a lot of active areas in the brain at the end of the study. She noted that amygdala, and I'll show you a picture in just a second, amygdala portion in the brain was actually smaller. So this is the brain MRI. This is a coronal section which has taken a slice in the middle of the brain. This area, I do not know if you can see my mouse moving. This is the right side of the brain, and this is the left side of the brain. The portion here, so I'll go over the anatomy a little bit. This is the parietal lobe, this is the temporal lobe, and this is the connection which is called anterior corpus callosum. These two are the ventricles. And in the brain, these are gyri and sulci, and we can see that this is the gray, lighter, darker area is the gray matter going all around, and that's where my mouse is scrolling. This particular area is the temporal lobe, and this is called insula. This is where we hear and we comprehend things. And this is the occipital lobe, in which whatever we see, the images, we are able to process that and appreciate and actually comprehend what image we are seeing. We can see a tree but not recognize unless our brain comprehends that this is a tree, or this is how a tree looks like. So this comprehension takes place here. So this is the occipital lobe, the function of which is the visual comprehension. This is the insula or temporal lobe, in which auditory comprehension occurs. So we hear sound and we comprehend what we hear. If I'm telling you something or calling out your name, this is where you hear and you understand that I'm calling out your name. This is the frontal lobe. The function of this is it has motor cortex, and it gives on the left side or right side of the arm and legs will move, and from the right side of the brain, left arm and left leg will move. So they control opposite limbs of our body. This area underneath here is amygdala. This is the center and it will come again repeatedly, so I want to explain what it is. So amygdala is the center where some of the things remain. We have emotions, strong emotions such as fear. This is a person who is not trained, has not meditated. Amygdala is this big. And they have a lot of fear. We all have fear and we have stress. And that if larger the fear is, bigger the fear is, bigger the stress is, the larger the amygdala becomes. This is the functional MRI showing us the metabolism is increased in this area. Now, this is the brain of the same person after meditation for about 8 weeks. You can see there is a difference in the size of the amygdala. It has gone from there to here. And this is the first time it was noted how much impact meditation can have. and controlling our emotion, we can face the fearful situation and not panic the same way as we would have done if we had not meditated. This is just an example of how things can improve and how we can help improve our own brain and our own responses to situations. Meditations has a positive residual effect. So this is the same MRI done months later, and you can see amygdala has shrunk even further. By doing this, so that means it did not last just 2 months after the meditation was over, but the impact of this was long lasting. So things can have longer impact on us if we continue to have faith, positive thinking, and try to meditate. This is the first time it was shown that meditation can help improve our emotional responses, and brain can have an impact from outside sources, and we can have control over that. Many studies were done afterwards to show longer lasting effects which were unknown beforehand. There is a cognitive behavioral therapy, which is mindfulness-based cognitive therapy, or MBCT. This has been shown to have an impact on many conditions like depression, anxiety, and even chronic pain. Chronic pain is such a big thing happening to a lot of people in this day and age, with aging population, arthritis, multiple medical conditions resulting into pain. And we may have experienced some way or the other pain in our lives. Some people live constantly with pain, and meditation, it doesn't make the pain go away completely, but it can have an impact to such a way, such a majorly way, that patients require less and less amount of medications. And it has been shown and proven by science that it is so. It can be done and it can be achieved through meditation. By training people in mindful meditation mode, this will increase the capacity for introspection, listening to our body, so as to speak, and we can disengage from rumination of negative thoughts about ourselves and redirect and rechannelize our thoughts to positive thinking. Like we were talking about, this is the mindfulness training. We saw about repeating the MRI images that were done after the images, so we've seen impact it can have on our, not only the fear factor, but also by training, we can eliminate or reduce depression, anxiety, and pain, like we talked about it before. So lots of interventions can have a positive impact. These practices should be done daily, and it only requires a few minutes of our life in everyday practice. By doing this practice, what we are trying to achieve is to be mindful. Being mindful meaning being in the present. So, when some studies were done, a text message was sent to several populations, and they said, hey, answer 3 questions. Where are you right now? What state of your mind it is right now? And were you thinking of something else, or are you here and attentive in the present moment? The study was done over a large population in different age, genders, etc. And they found, after several studies, that 47% of the people are not only not aware, or only half aware of what they were actually doing in the present moment. Why? Because we were talking about multitasking. We were talking about doing several things. We can be eating, we can be playing video games, we're listening to the music on the phone, our mama is there, and we pretend as if we're talking and paying attention to our family. That happens to all kids, right? So I'm just saying, so we can do multitasking. It's good to do that. However, if you're doing something serious task, I'm sorry, but I had to say this. And we all are guilty of doing it, right? So uh, our mind is very capable of doing all of these things. However, when we are doing, my kids are laughing. Sorry. When we are doing all these things and practicing daily in meditation, we can enhance our capabilities so much so that what we do, and we do it with full heart and zest, we can achieve what we would like to do. So like this is what I was talking about, the multitasking. When if we are driving, supposing this is a situation when we are driving and we have music on, we are talking to the person who is next to us, we are talking to somebody over the phone and Bluetooth and somebody elsewhere. So we are all in communication with each other. The music is going, we are going elsewhere. It's a smooth ride, we are fine. As soon as we hit a rocky path, we have to tell them, we have to hang up the phone, we tell the passenger, please stop talking, we turn off the radio or music, and we pay 100% attention so that we can drive through the rocky path with safety. Isn't that what we do? So that's the same thing that our meditation is teaching us. What is it saying? Full concentration will get excellent result in whatever we do. That's the bottom line, right? Our brain generates about 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts in any given one day. We are not aware of all of them. However, we are aware of a few of them only, because our thought is, we are talking, my hand is going in the right direction, the left hand is going somewhere else, my legs are somewhere else. All these are created by thoughts and commands given by my brain. So we are not aware of all of this, and we do it involuntarily. There are 80% of the thoughts are negative thoughts. 95% of the thoughts are repetitive thoughts, as they occurred a day before. And we may not even be aware of all of them. So we live either in the past or we live worrying about the future most of the time. How many of us are in the present? Very little time. Our concentration can stay in a focused mode only for a 5 to maybe 6 minutes, or that's also too much, 4 minutes maybe. And then our mind wanders away. Then we have to redirect, bring it back to the current. So that happens a lot to every mind, but we have to train it to bring it to pay 100% attention to the present, and that's being mindful in true sense. There is a neuroscience developing, a book written by Andrew Newberg, Principles of Neurotheology, great bestseller. He wrote about neurotheology or neurodharma. The science has come back to restore our sanity. We are in the confluence age. We are about to go into the cycle of golden era. Our soul still has memory in this era, but it will not be the case when we enter into golden age or the silver ages. That's where our memory from these past two, copper age and iron age, will fade away. So our thoughts will feed our soul. Whatever thoughts we are creating, we are feeding it to our soul. So we have to be mindful of what we are thinking. And what our thoughts are creates and makes who we are. This is the science, and it has been scientifically proven. This is the brain. And of course, all religions, faiths have come together in this study to say, yes, there is something more than just dharma, something beyond all of this. And that is what makes us human. compassionate human beings. Going back to John Kabat-Zinn, who was the pioneer in bringing the meditation into this world and making it more popular, where he did a lot of research, presented his paper, and gave a talk to several different populations, including sanitary people, going to lots of various colleges, schools, going to meditation centers, and then talking about the brain and its impact of meditation on brain. This is, again, I said there are a lot of different kinds of meditation. We talked about a few of them before. The commonest ones are, the one that is becoming more famous lately is metta meditation. Meditation of compassion or kindness. And this is the one that brings us to be mindful and not be mindful. You can see the difference here. This guy, he is actually Dr. Matthew Ricard. He was a molecular biology scientist. He was very happy. He found his happiness. He was happy all the time. He went to Tibet, and he did meditation. He became a monk. He was so happy all the time. People wanted to study his brain. They did EEG recording. So these are all the electrodes that are placed on the head and recording EEG. Then his MRI, his functional MRI was obtained, and they were surprised to see how his left frontal brain was lighting up, because he was happy all the time. He's known as compassionate guru. You see the left frontal lobe, this is the left side because the brain is facing front this way, and this is the back of the brain. And this is the left side frontal lobe, and this is the bright area with so much light in the left frontal lobe. Frontal lobe is the one that determines our behavior, our motor skills on the left side, emotions on the right side, but they are all over the place as well. So it's not just concentrated there, but it was found in this gentleman, the bright light shining in this monk. He was happy all the time. So let me talk a little bit about neuroanatomy, since I know very many youngsters are here and maybe some of you may be seeing brain for the first time. This is a reptilian brain, the white area in the center. Reptiles, which means like, let's say alligator. Alligator has this little brain. All it needs to do is find its prey, swim in water, maybe come on land, sleep, and the basic, only primitive things are needed for its skill. So that's why the brain is so small. This is primitive brain at a brain stem level. Whereas in other mammals, we have a limbic system that has developed. We've seen monkeys, we've seen them now having feelings of anger. You can see, some of you may have gone to India and seen monkeys, and see if you have some food in your hand, they'll come grab it and take it away. If you throw a stick on them, they'll actually growl at you with anger. They have feelings, they have emotions, and all of this occurs or takes place in our limbic system. We have all three of them, and the biggest of them all is the neocortex, the new cortex that only human beings possess. We are so fortunate to have this brain that takes up so much portion of our body, and it is the heaviest brain of all the animal in the entire animal kingdom. That's what makes us so different. It makes us human. But do we practice as a humanitarian at all times? Do we practice? Because this area is the frontal lobe in the frontal. This is parietal lobe, occipital lobe. This is the cerebellum, which is the center for balance, and some of the emotions or our working memory lies there. So if we learn to do bicycle as a child, Later, when you want to go bike again, this is where our memory of biking resides. So you go pick out the bike after 30 years, you will still remember how to ride a bike. So, uh, so memory is all over the place, including even in the cerebellum, just like emotions are all over the place. These are several loops and connections that help us or make us human, and generate thoughts within the brain. There's a constant struggle between feelings and thinking. This brain, again, it is colored so that you can see frontal lobe, parietal lobe, occipital lobe, temporal lobe, and this is the cerebellum, and this is the brain stem. This is our thinking brain, generating all our thoughts, mastermind that can create, or it can make you or break you. This is our emotional brain, and right side of the brain is where some of the apraxias or some of the things that we do automatically are living. But this is our calculating brain. Determines our speech, our language, our comprehension, so more concrete here, and it helps us um, uh, generate not only our speech, our understanding, which is on both sides, of course, but this is the mastermind to help us with calculations. This is the one that helps us coordinate things better, emotions better, intuitivity, creativity, etc. In the process of life. So, while we are talking about the anatomy, we are also talking about the evolution of the brain. We used to have fight and flight. We have fight or flight response. In primitive or prehistoric times, when we were walking on there were no houses, and we were walking on the beaches or somewhere, and supposing a tiger comes behind us, our instinct was immediately to run away. And that created fight and flight response. That fight or flight response was fine when if it occurred in an acute setting, and we all need it for survival. But in today's day and age, stress is so much that we constantly live in fight or flight response. And this is what has created a chronic stress mode. And this was studied by Harvard scientists, and he wrote a book about this, why we are living in this age of stress and we are constantly in the fight or flight mode. We need to, this can help deteriorate our health, bring up many conditions like hypertension, etc. So they did study and found that not only our mind gets impacted, but by meditation, we can lower our blood pressure, our heart rate, temperature. Yes, it can even reduce our body temperature. So it has a lot of other impacts on our body too. So this was a scientist from Harvard again. He was working on something else. A lot of people went to him and said, can you please do this research? He was pioneer in finding that blood pressure can become lower, heart rate can become low, and temperature response can become low after meditation. He wrote a bestseller book, Beyond Relaxation and Response. And so that's when it started all happening, when the science behind it backed up the meditation. When we see a frightful situation, should we run away? Should we try to deal with it? Should we panic? We all can have different responses to the same situation. There is some people who will come out of some negativity and resilience very quickly, whereas others will be in that mood for a very long time. And so by doing the mindful training, we can train ourselves to reduce that stress and have a better response. These are the brain waves that are generated within our brain. And this is the EEG that has captured it very beautifully. These are some of the waves, and they can be gamma, beta, alpha, theta, and even delta. All of this is very important During awake state, we are very active, the brain is active, but in sleep, even though we have slow waves, a lot of activity is going on because brain is trying to recuperate and rejuvenate our health. It's laying down memory at this point. We are sleeping, but our mind is the most active at that time. So, but it is depicted by delta waves or slow waves. The more the delta waves, the better is your sleep. Like sleep has 4 stages, and the 4th stage is the deepest state of sleep in which we see a lot of delta waves. And delta waves are important for regeneration or rejuvenation of brain. When there is a sister, Janki from Brahma Kumaris, she lived for a long period of time. Many people noticed that she would sleep for 4 hours and be so active and was so doing so many things during the entire day. And people wondered how you can just sleep for 4 hours. They did EEG and found that her brain had a lot of slow waves. She was labeled as Delta Woman of the world. She practiced a lot of meditation, silence, and lot of this silence meditations, which is what Vipassana meditation, which we talked about in the beginning. Something happens in our brain, the connectivity that makes us to be more intuitive, more innovative, thinking clearly, and we can become very creative. It's all lying in the neuroplasticity. So I'll explain to you what neuroplasticity is. So again, I'm showing you brain again and again. Frontal, parietal, temporal, occipital lobe, cerebellum. And this is the sagittal section of the corpus callosum. This is the area which connects 2 sides of the brain. So our left brain can talk to right brain. This is the brain stem. And this area is the midbrain, pons, medulla oblongata, and this is the cerebellum or our balance center. This is where the pituitary lies. This region is where the hypothalamus is, and the corpus callosum connects the 2 sides of the brain. This is the functional brain MRI. Anytime we generate a thought, whether we are sitting and doing nothing, we can still see certain areas are lighting up. This something or the other is going on in our brain, and that's what we need to train mind and bring it into redirect so that our mind doesn't wander away. Because too many thoughts can lead to negative thoughts as well as depression mode. Connections have been found between frontal lobe to parietal lobe, going to hippocampus, hypothalamus, going to thalamus, and eventually to hippocampus. Hippocampus is our master for memory. All the memory lies within that. It lies in different areas for different things. Like we said, working memory lies in the cerebellum, and some of the memory lies, but mostly who you are lies in the hippocampus. Hippocampus, when atrophies, people develop Alzheimer's dementia, and that area becomes very small and thin, and we forget who we are. But all these connections are important to know. This has to strike a balance between sympathetic and parasympathetic system. This helps us make connections while we are young, so that we stay constantly in the glow, arousal, or in a state of bliss and happiness. Meditation can change things how it is depicted in the functional MRI, and this is a brain of a person who is entering into the brain, entering into the MRI tunnel, and lots of thoughts are being generated. As we can see, the metabolism is high here. After 15 minutes or 10 minutes of meditation and calmness, you can see the metabolism subsides and is in a relaxed state. And positive thoughts were generated, and powerful positive thoughts were created, and we have seen by functional MRIs again and again how much impact it can have. And that's the science behind neuroplasticity. By being aware, by being mindful of the present, being here and now, by being compassionate and by being kind. This is the neuroplasticity. This is a neuron. These are the two neurons. They have a connection. And so mostly our brain generates thoughts. And our thoughts control us. What we are thinking is how we act. We can go into negative mode, we can go into depressed mode, we can be anxious, fearful, stressed, and all of those things. But when we meditate, we can stay in a state of calmness, bliss, and happy mode. And by doing this and practicing, we can generate such neurons that will create connectivity in such a way that we are always in a happy mode, constantly in a blissful mode. This is the science of neuroplasticity. So instead of our brain creating thoughts and controlling us and bringing us to negativity, thoughtful, depressed mode, we can now generate such thoughts that our positive thoughts control our mind and brain, and we are the master of our own brain and not brain talking to us. We talk to our brain and change our life. This is the study by Sarah Lazar showing that this was a very big study, and she showed actually the brain cells, that is the gray matter, that is where the neuron body or the cell body lies. It can actually increase in the thickness, and all these areas depicted are actually a person who was not meditating before, and after 8 weeks of meditation, we actually clearly saw that these areas have become much thicker, and that's what we want, increased thickness of the cortex, so that we do not lose ourselves and do not develop dementia at later age. This is again showing how we are aging, but we can prevent the aging process. We've seen a few people who live to be 100 and still walking, and we see a 50-year-old or 60-year-old with needing help. Forget about the illnesses. Just by physical activity and being happy mode, they can delay the aging process. We've seen the amygdala and the response of the fear factor. We've seen the hippocampus increasing and improving our memory. This is the controlled brain of a person who is not meditating, but this is the brain thickness of the person who is actually meditating. You can see how much difference there is in the two thicknesses. And this is a control again in the temporoparietal junction. The control mind who is not meditating is this thick, but the brain that is meditating has improved connectivity even by continuous meditation of 2 months. Similar to the brain, it can have an impact on our heart. We do our yoga, we do meditation. All of this can actually, there were some studies published, and that was called Yogami Heart Study. And it was published in the Journal of Cardiology and Circulation, in which it was shown that atrial fibrillation recurrence can be prevented and mortality can be reduced by 48% by just meditation alone. And this is a very profound study having an impact of meditation even on heart. Not only heart or brain, we have genes. We have seen its impact even on our genes, and it can increase telomerase, reformat our gene, our coding system, which is what makes us. And we can have an impact on our genome. There are a lot of factors that are secreted by each molecule at a cellular level. We have seen changes happening, enzymes being secreted, Many pathways have been lit up, and we are actually seeing an impact on overall health. There are a lot of scientists, they say that we can be a mouse with normal weight, or we can be a mouse with overweight or obesity. It is up to us to generate our thoughts, to even have an impact to the point that we can create our own destiny, make our own minds, bring together our own pure genes, and make it happen such that we are the master of our own mind, body, and soul and emotions, all combined together. Stanford Center had a compassionate study and depicted similar results at a cellular level. And lots of studies are there. If you do Google search, you'll find lots of things can be done to improve our own health. We've heard stories of people who have gone into meditation mode. They had cancer. After a few months, some of the people who truly meditated changed their behavior, and their cancer was surprisingly gone. We have heard those rare cases. We generally live in a crisis mode like this. We are always running away from a calamity somewhere. This is the state of our mind today. And we have to make an impact such that our mindful practice should be to mind and train our own mind so that we can help others and we can rescue ourselves from the stress. Well, just this is one. Daniel Orphy was the author of How Doctors Feel. How doctors feel? Everybody is under stress, so are doctors, constantly under the impact of burnout. They feel burnout, lost, stressed. In this pandemic, it's much more vigorous. This is how doctors used to be in the back in the days. When a person would be sick, they'd go, follow, observe, be with that patient for a long period of time. And this is a picture of the today modern doctor looking at the computer. This is a picture of a 7-year-old who created art after visiting a doctor's office. This was published in JAMA. This is depicting a doctor is looking at computer, the MD, EMD we call, not looking at the patients. Forget about the compassion, right? So to meditate as if your life depends on it. There are several different paths to meditate. Find your own mode. You don't need a yoga mat. You don't need to sit on the floor. You don't need Lululemon pants. You don't need incense or scents or candles. You can meditate in your office, in your chair, on the floor, anywhere. Just pay attention and bring the happiness bubble up. Thank you for your attention. I hope this helps.
Thank you very much, Renuka ji, Dr. Renuka. Does anybody have any questions? No questions from anyone? Okay, a lot of thank you very much. Thank you from all the kids over here and from JBB Orlando.
My pleasure and honor.
Appreciate your time on this Saturday morning. So it was a very interesting topic and a very thorough research presentation. A lot of research, presented today. So thank you again.
Sure, my pleasure. How do I stop sharing right there?
Yeah, just click on stop sharing on the top. You have an option.
Okay, you've recorded this, right?
Let me see if I can do that. Yes.
Okay, can you please send that recording to me? Email it to me, please.
Yes, I will do that after the after the session.
Thank you. And how do I just stop sharing and then that's it, right? I don't have to do anything else.
No, yeah.
Okay. Thank you again. Bye-bye.
Just hold on one second. I have made you the host. Okay, can you click hover on my name Manoj Gandhi and make me the host? I accidentally made you the host instead of the co-host.
Okay, how do I do that?
So if you click on participants below
Okay,
and you see my name Manoj Gandhi,
yes.
and then you'll see more, option more,
Okay,
and make host.
make a host. Okay,
Yeah.
I got it. And say yes. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Got it?
Yep, I got it. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you and bye-bye.
So next up we have Shamli Jin Pragya ji, and so Shanti Pragya ji. Sorry. Shamli ji. I think so. She is still finishing up her session. So I have a question until Shamiji joins.
Okay, sure.
Sorry, not to you. I'm sorry. I have a question for the kids. So
Oh.
next week we will have there will be a last session, and we'll also plan to have a test. And we are trying to find what option would be there for you to give the test. So does every kid have access to Kahoot? They know about Kahoot. I know a lot of kids from Orlando know about Kahoot. But what about other places? If you take the test on Kahoot, can you all raise your hands so I instead of reading the chats, it will be difficult for me to. So I know Chavi, she has raised her hands. Yes, she's a quiz master. And for Kahoot, you will need 2 devices. So make sure that if you have 2 people logging into the same, this one you'll need for the Zoom meeting, and 2 each individual device for answering the questions on Kahoot. On the Zoom meeting, you will see the questions, and on the phone, you have to answer the questions. So I see hands up of only 4 people. Rest don't have Kahoot, are not aware of Kahoot. Okay. So quite a few of them are aware of Kahoot. If you are not aware of Kahoot, I will paste the link over here. You can download as an app, or you can, if you have multiple devices, you can have another laptop. You can go to the website kahoot.it, or you can download the Android or iOS app. And I'm also pasting the link for the attendance, today's attendance. Please ensure you put your name and don't if you're sitting together, don't put together's name, 2 persons' name in the same attendance. Others will count you as 1 person only, and we're counting the attendance. You're doing some programmatically counting the attendance. So hope you don't get marked absent. Shamniji's got a message from Shamniji's. They need a few more minutes. So in the meantime, kids, you guys have any question? Any comments of the session so far? Did you guys all enjoy? Want to give your opinion? We've got a very quiet crowd today. Nobody wants to speak up. Okay. So in the meantime, hope all of you can mark your attendance. So I see most of the kids have know about Kahoot. So we will take the test next week on Kahoot. So make sure that you have 2 devices ready. One for the Zoom meeting where you will see these questions, and another to answer the questions. If you think you do not have access to 2 devices, please let us know now before the end of this meeting. Okay, we have Shamliji is joining. So there's a question, can we watch the previous meetings? Yes, we will upload. We have uploaded most of our meetings, but we kept it private because we want to make sure we edited, but we will open it for this week. And so if you guys can go and watch those videos again for the test, and then we will make it private again because we'll need to do some editing. Okay.
Manish, can I share screen?
Yeah. I'm making you the co-host. Okay. Nami Naman Sami Shamliji.
Vandami Sami Sami.
आराध्य देव के चरण में वंदना, परम पूज्य गुरुदेव के चरण में वंदना. And dear kids, today's our topic is purpose of life and life of purpose. So what do you understand by this topic? Purpose of life and life of purpose. Do you have any views regarding this heading? No?
We got one answer from the chat. Please feel free to unmute yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the answer we got from Ishan and Anya Hasha is why we live and what we live for. Anybody else? Please unmute.
Okay. I think at last they will share their views. So I want to start with story. Once there was a man who was a true devotee of God and was always dedicated towards his devotion. And as devotion of duty, as his devotion of duty, he was always loyal. Now God decided to bless him. God asked him, what is his wish? God asked him his wish so it can be fulfilled. But devotee replied, I'm satisfied with whatever I have. I don't need anything. But God wanted to bless him. God wanted to bless him. So he asked again. And he told him that no, you have to ask something. Because a meeting with a God cannot go in vain. So devotee thought a while and then asked for a rose plant. That please give me a rose plant in my garden area. God asked, what? Why only rose plant? No, I'm here. I can give something valuable. You can ask for something valuable like money, gold, diamonds, jewelry, palace, luxurious life, anything you can ask. But why only rose plant? The devotee replied, no, I want only rose plant. But why? The reply of devotee was very meaningful. He replied that the day it starts blooming, the beauty and fragrance of the rose spreads all over, and even when it is buried in the soil, the fragrance never dies. It fulfills purpose of its life. So this plant will remind me again and again what to do in my life. What is the purpose of my life? Why am I here on this earth, in this world? Right? So when we have purpose in our life, question again and again comes in our life, why are you here? It's the most important question which we face many times in our life. And that this question will empower you, educate you, and assist you. For as long as I remember, I have been wondering why I'm here. There has to be a reason as for being here. A start of life, schooling, right? Teachers question us, why are we here? Why are you here? And we reply that we are here to study. Again in college, we are questioned, why are you here? And we are to study, we are to get degree. Then when I went to Sansa for training before initiation, again asked, why are you here? And to take initiation, to take Diksha And if you go, or you are going to, you will go to workplace, they will also ask you, why are you here? And you will reply that we are here to earn money. I'm here to earn money. But did I get some clue? Did you get any clue? Behind every action of ours, there has to be a reason. Above are some clues or examples. But still the question arises, why are we here? If we don't know, it will happen with us what happens with many of people of this world. Do you know that most people have regrets on their deathbeds? Which type of regret? They have regret that I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself. Bonnie Ware, she is an Australian author and songwriter and motivational speaker, best known for her writings about the top deathbed regrets. She had during her time as a palliative carer described in her book, The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. Actually, she spent years working in palliative care in Australia, looking after patients in the last 3 to 12 weeks of their lives. During that time, she became used to hearing the elderly reveal their biggest regrets. And at the top of the list, the biggest regret generally people have on their deathbed was, I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself, with true purpose of my life. This was the common regret of all. When people realize that their life is almost over and look back clearly on it, it is easy to see how many dreams have gone unfulfilled. Most people had not honored even half of their dreams and had to die, knowing that it was due to choices they had made or not made. So, what we will choose? We'll choose according to our purpose, right? I think for myself, I've chosen a right purpose of my life at the right time. So I will not have this regret in my last time. I'm trying my best to be true to myself, and especially after initiation, I'm trying my best to live the life always I want to live. Today, I'm practicing sadhana. I'm practicing very well sadhana. Whatever I want to do for my sadhana, I'm doing. And also trying to serve community, humanity, society, entire world. I'm trying to spread Jainism. I'm trying to teach and preach Jainism. And this is the purpose of my life. So I'm also, like you can see that I'm not too much fluent in English, but I'm learning because my purpose, the one part of that purpose is to learn Jainism and to teach Jainism, to live Jainism and make others to live Jainism. And for that, I'm also learning this language. This is the short-term goal of my purpose, to learn the English. So whatever I'm doing, I think I will not have the regret at the last time of my life. But what about you? Now you should start thinking, because this is the age when you should start thinking about your purpose. Now, if you are not thinking about your purpose of your life, then it is too late for you. It will be too late for you. So I want to ask you, are you living the life you always wanted to live? A life true to yourself? Or are you living a life others want you to live? That others can be your parents, your teachers, your friends, anyone, your enemies. They push you to do anything. Your friends, you know that this is the wrong thing, but your friends, yeah, no, you're living in a modern era. We should drink, we should eat non-veg, it's healthy, but your purpose, your inner voice says that it is not matched with my purpose. It is not necessary. So, are you living your life always? You always wanted to live a life true to yourself, or are you living a life others want you to live? Ask yourself. Are you letting others plan your life for you? Or are you planning your life yourself? If you let others plan your life, then you will reach the destination they want you to reach. Think about it. You will never get the destination. You will never reach to that destination where you want to go, where you want to reach, but will reach the destination they want you to reach. Think about it. Listen to your inner voice and start living a life true to yourself right now. Then you will not have this regret on your deathbed. Live a life true to yourself instead of the one others expect. People do not have life temperature, which can alert and guide them onto the purposeful life. How then they can, how their life can be fulfilled. Can you simply pull the car out of your garage and start driving? If you have not decided upon your destination, any enjoyable and satisfying journey is impossible if you don't know where you want to go. It is must for you to know that where you want to go. Without knowing it, you will not get anywhere. So, what is the purpose of life? What is the purpose of life? What is the meaning of success and fulfillment? Are success and purpose both are same or different? What do you really want in life? And you should ask yourself, what do I really want from my life? The word purpose, we can define it as a reason for which anything is done, created, or exists. We can say it that purpose relates to the meaning of life. Why do I exist? What is the reason for your place in the universe? Life's purpose is the destination, and to reach that place, you spend each moment of your life on that path. The purpose is such a personal goal that we live and die for it, no matter whether you are driven by any religion, business, or education. You always breathe with that purpose. Purpose makes life meaningful, beautiful, and resilient, as well as successful. Since each person is unique from their DNA. Unique from their DNA to fingerprints, right? All person, each and every person of this world has unique DNA, unique fingerprints. So we can say that each person of this universe is unique from DNA to fingerprints. So we can say that it is reasonable to believe that each of us has also a purpose, a reason for being that is uniquely personal. What we need to discover that reason. We find each individual having diverse interests. On this basis, people can be categorized as work-centered, family-centered, friend-centered, pleasure-centered, enemy-centered, position-centered, self-centered, or value-centered. It's go on many categories. It can be many. But what is purposeful living? What is purposeful living? Let's imagine that you are gifted with an item of your wildest dream. Whatever you have biggest dream about the item that I want it in my life, and you are gifted with them. Suppose that gift is a car, and say that it is a Mercedes or any other, whatever you want, the what I can say, costliest and best car of this world, and you are gifted with that car. So would you like to use it? Would you like to use it or not? Would you enjoy experience of driving it, or would it serve utilize like a purpose, like holding your basic supplies like wood chips for fire, or transporting your grocery or any other your business and according to your business purpose, whatever for transport. Do you want to use it? Would you like to use it as you would use a pickup or truck? I think no. It is unlikely that you would misuse the gifts in such a manner. The point being, if we do not use an object in the way it is meant to be used, we are in fact misusing or abusing it. So, in the same way, we can say about our life that if we are living our life without purpose, we are never thinking about it, that why I am here, what is the purpose of our life, and we are living the life without purpose. So what is the purpose of life? Is live a life with purpose, right? So I want to give some few examples for purpose of life. Lord Mahavira, according to Lord Mahavira, Bhagwan Mahavira, what should be a purpose in our life? According to Bhagwan Mahavir, to be away from all the attachments and hours in your life, to realize the true nature of self, and to develop universal love and compassion for all living beings is the purpose of our life. The foundation of this purpose is non-violence, equanimity, and the sense of equality for all living organisms on the planet. Right? Next, I want to say about Mahatma Gandhi. Growing up with Jain religious tradition and a devout mother, Gandhiji, whose name was Mohandas, absorbed early on the influence that would play an important role in his adult life. These influences included compassion for sentient beings, vegetarianism, fasting for tolerance, and respect for individuals of different creeds. Gandhiji never compromised his purpose, whether he was in India or overseas. Third example for Raja Harishchandra is a story of history, past history. King Harishchandra, he always lived life with truth. It was the purpose of his life, live a life with truth. And he always lived life. And for that, a god, Dev, came to take exam of him. And he passed. He faced many struggles, many problems, but he was stable on his purpose of his life. The next, I want to give example of Acharya Mahapragya. Acharya Mahapragya, I can say he's a great philosopher, first of all, he was a great monk, Jain monk. He was a great Acharya of this century, Jain Acharya of this century. He was a great philosopher of this century. He was a great writer of this century. He was a great preacher of this century. And I'm blessed. I'm feeling blessed that I took initiation from him. I'm the last Samani who took initiation from Acharya Mahapragya, who took Diksha in his station. And Acharya Mahapragya, when we read her life, we watch his life, we listen his preachings, we read his books, we find that he was a really very great author also, preacher also. He wrote 300 books in his life. Sometimes it's very hard to read 300 books for people, but he wrote 300 books in his life. And he lived a very good life. So the central purpose of life, he lived with his central purpose of his life. And the central purpose of his life was his resolution. He had some resolutions. The first resolution was to become a perfect monk. His first resolution was to become a perfect monk. Second was not to hurt his Guru Acharya Tulsi. Third was to serve all mankind. And fourth, not to have any negative thought to harm anyone. Right? So he was always true to himself. He always lived a life of perfect monk. He never hurt his Guru Acharya Tulsi. He always obeyed him. And so Acharya Tulsi also trusted on him. He always trying to serve all mankind. Tried to serve. When there was a racial affairs like Godhra Kand in India, in Gujarat, Hindus and Muslims were fighting. That time people denied to Acharya Mahapragya that you should not go to Gujarat because it's a very crazy or very dangerous situation there. People are killing each other, so you should not go. And that time, what was his reply? Do you know? What was his reply? That this time I should go, I must go. They need me. And really, he went to that. He called Hindu and Muslim leaders. He talked with them and he settled the whole problem, the whole issue. So he always served mankind and he never negative thought to harm anyone. So these souls live their life with purpose and they become models for millions to follow. So I think you got the idea why you should discover the purpose in your life. But before you discover your purpose, I want to share something more. Let's stop and see your life's purpose. What is it? What is it? It should be not material possession or pleasures. Material possessions and pleasures are not should be your life purpose. If money could bring true happiness and long-lasting satisfaction, then the wealthiest people in the world would be the happiest ones. But they are not, right? They're not. So it is a narrow-minded to think that your body, mind, soul, personality, abilities, talents, and experience were given you so that you could make money, provide for your family, and attract wealth into your life. But it should be not your purpose. Second thing is short-term goals, needs and desires. No. Short-term goals, needs and desires are the steps. It can be steps or goals when you are going towards your purpose. But it is not centered on your temporary goals. Your purpose should be not centered on your temporary goals, needs or desires. Next, your purpose should be not lie with other people. When you try to help people that you love it is great, right? It is great that you want to help them. But when you make another person the center of your life, then your happiness becomes conditional and dependent. Control of your life goes into others' hands. No person in this universe, no matter how great, can become your life purpose. I will repeat my sentence. No purpose in this world or in this universe, no matter how great he or she is, can become your life purpose. Make sure you are not so preoccupied in making others happy that you are forgetting yourself. Next thing, your status. Your status should be not your purpose. Life purpose is not based on your status. It should be not based on your status. In a perfect world, your work and your life purpose, they should be aligned. But your profession is not an all, what I can say, encompassing, all encompassing representation of who you are. Your real and true self is free from all kinds of titles, this status, this pose. So do not tie your identity with your status. And your purpose should be not negative feelings, negative attitudes like revenge, enmity, violence, jealousy. What will do this? This will take you away from your life's purpose. So emotional imbalance can lead to downfall or suffering. So all these things should be not your life purpose. So I think the purpose of life, how it should be is to be useful, to be responsible, to be honorable, to be compassionate. It is after all to matter, to count, to stand for something, to have made some difference that you lived at all. I remember a short story, or maybe it's an imagination, or reality also, that in the race of rat and cat, who wins most of times? Who wins? In the race of cats and rats, rat and cats, who wins most of time? No idea? Who wins?
Can you please repeat?
Sorry?
The race of
cat and rat. चूहा और बिल्ली की दौड़ में who will win?
Cat and rat.
Most of time, who will win?
rats, most probably. Rats, most probably.
Yeah, rats. Why? Why?
Their capacity is higher.
Rats or cats? What are you telling?
Rats.
Okay. Their capacity is higher. Or cats' capacity is higher.
Like normally rats is very fast.
Yeah, they are wins. They wins, but why? What's the basic? See, the purpose of running of rats is life, right? The purpose of running of cat is food. So purpose matters. What is your purpose? You want to win in your life. What is your purpose? Is it your food, like food or any small things, or is it life? So purpose should be clear, and the purposeful life will deliver immense satisfaction. A purposeful life explore your strengths, triggers your passion, and fuels your happiness. By discovering our purposes, will make fewer mistakes and have fewer problems. Gain genuine long-term happiness and personal or professional fulfillment. It reduces fear, stress, anxiety, and depression. You can stay enthusiastic and motivated. So we should have purpose in our life. It will give us clarity that what we want to do, what we don't want to do. What should we do, what we should not do. When you have clear purpose and any situation comes to you that please do this, and if you have clear purpose that no, this is not according to my purpose of my life, you will say no. And if it is according to purpose of life, you will say yes. So it will drive you on the right path. By that you will get personal growth. You will feel that I am living meaningful life and healthier life. And also research is telling that purposeful life gives a healthy life. Medical research says that if you want to live a healthy life, you should have purpose in your life. So when you ask yourself, you should ask yourself about your purpose. When you are defining your purpose, you should ask yourself, what am I doing for my soul, universe, this world and humanity? I think you should write these questions for reference, for your reference time many times. You can recall yourself that about your purpose. I want to write you, all of you, whatever I'm spelling, I'm speaking, that questions. What am I doing for my soul, universe, this world, and humanity? The second question is, am I improving the quality and clarity of my true self, or am I compromising my true self? Okay, now I want you all of you that on the top of blank sheet of paper, you write, what is my true purpose in life? And first write this question and write your purpose. Write down any answer that pops into your head. It doesn't have to be a complete sentence. A short phrase is also fine, but write. Okay? I think, have you written? Are you written? Write your purpose. Now next, repeat this step until you write the answer that makes you cry. You can do it later. Now we have less time, but you can follow the steps later. And that will be whatever the answer makes you cry, that will be your purpose. That will be your purpose of your life. For example, in the beginning, you will come up with the bundles of thoughts. So many thoughts. Because now you have an age, like some of you have decided which career you want to go, and some will decide after a few years or few months. So in the beginning, I think you will come up with many thoughts. Suppose your long-term goal is to become a doctor. Listen, I am speaking about goal, not purpose. So, goal and purpose both are different. Goal can be fulfilled, but purpose never, it will be never fulfilled. It will be throughout your life. Purpose will never change. Goal can be changed. Purpose will never change. Okay? So, the long-term goal is to become a doctor. So your first thought will likely be, I want to be a doctor, right? I want to become a doctor. Now ponder this thought. Ponder this thought further, and next thought may be, I want to become a compassionate doctor. Right? It can be. Then you add an honest doctor. Then finally you make your vision statement as, I want to live a life of integrity and to serve humanity. This is your true purpose, driven by the values of compassion, contribution, honesty, and the like. Right? This is the overarching purpose you will strive to attain in your life. Otherwise, after getting the degree of doctor, you have no purpose in your life? No. So goal can be fulfilled, the goal can be changed, but the purpose of your life will be never changed. Now you can define your long-term goal to become a doctor, but the purpose of your life, what it can be, to serve society or humankind in general. So if it happens with you or anybody that you want to be a doctor, but because of some reasons you are not getting admission in that medical school from which you can be a doctor, but now your purpose is clear to you that I want to serve this society, I want to give something to this society, right? For that we will find the other way, that how I can serve this society, how I can serve humankind. Then you will be never bothered that you become a doctor, you can be a doctor or not, because you have clear purpose of your life. So purposeful life gives healthy life, and medical research also says it us that the people who had a purpose, clear purpose in their life, they were healthy and they were more successful in their life. In 1953, researchers studying goal setting surveyed the graduating seniors from Yale University on their goals, on their purpose and aspiration for the future. They found that only 3% of the graduating class had specific written their goals, purpose, and objectives. 20 years on, the researchers contacted the same graduates and came up with some very interesting and we can say amazing results. They discovered what they discovered. They discovered that the same 3% who engaged in the goal setting activity, who had a clear life purpose and had clearly written when they graduated in 1953, they were more successful and more worth in terms of wealth than the other 97%. The same 3% also tended to have better health and relationships than the other 97% of people. So purposeful life gives us a healthy life. we should have purposeful life. And also one more research says that the person, when purpose and decision making goes up in life, the person who is leading their life with purpose, there is a 52% reduced risk of Alzheimer's disease. They have 52% reduced risk of Alzheimer's disease. So it is also good for our health. And also in the every part of your life, you get more success, more achievements. But the question is also that, does it matter whether we achieve our outer purpose, whether we succeed or fail in the world? Does it matter or not? So it will be matter to you as long as you haven't realized your inner purpose. If you realize your inner purpose, it will not matter. As I told you that if it is not possible for you to become a doctor, but it will not matter to you because your purpose is not to become a doctor. Your purpose is to serve humanity. Then you will get other ways for that. So after that, the outer purpose is just a game that you may continue to play simply because you enjoy it. It is also possible to feel completely in the outer way and completely successful in your inner way. So it is more important for you that you should find your inner purpose of your life. Now, how to stabilize a purpose? I want to say that Praksha meditation is very useful to stabilize your purpose, and it will be very useful to strengthen your purpose. You need to take it into your subconscious level, right? And seed turns into a tree only if it is deeply rooted in the ground. Similarly, purpose grows if it is assimilated into the subconscious mind. To reach our subconscious mind, we need to produce alpha waves. When we produce alpha waves, scientific research has concluded that alpha waves are activated when the mind is in meditative or relaxed state. So this Praksha meditation connects you with your subconscious mind. And this technique involves four things. First is resolution. Resolution of practicing meditation to empower the purpose of life. Resolution, the beginning is necessary. Right? So it's a resolution. Second thing is relaxation. And relaxation to be free from stress and by activating the right hemisphere of the brain to generate the alpha waves. The third thing is deep breathing. It helps you to develop focus and remain steadfast on your purpose. And fourth is visualization. Visualize your dream with closed eye in your mind with the power of your imagination. The more clearly visualize, the more stable and entrenched your purpose becomes. So I think if you want, I want 5 minutes meditation. But how you can do? You can practice it more than 5 minutes, but today we can do it for 5 minutes because the time is already 12:30. So close your eyes. Close your eyes. Sit straight. Meditation posture. First of all, we'll take resolution. I am practicing meditation to empower the purpose of my life. I am practicing meditation to empower the purpose of my life. I am practicing meditation to empower the purpose of my life. Repeat this sentence in your mind 3 times. Okay. After resolution, relax your body. And then relax your whole body. Now take deep breath. This is the key to concentrate your mind. Now visualize your dream and purpose with a closed eye in your mind with the power of imagination. The more concentration you have, the more clearly you visualize. The more clearly you visualize, the more stable and traced your purpose becomes. Imagine your purpose of your life clearly in your mind. Imagine you are very near to your purpose. You are always on your purpose. You are fulfilling your purpose. Okay. Take 2 or 3 long and deep breath. Conclude the meditation. So, the practice of reflection meditation activates the right brain and assists you in staying focused. So, You are never too young or old, and you can start today. So I think all of you will start from today, and you'll find your life purpose, true life purpose. Okay, thank you. If any of you have any question, you can ask, or you can conclude with Mangal Path. Mangal Path सुना दूँ अनुश्री? नमो अरहंताणं नमो सिद्धाणं नमो आयर्याणं नमो उवच्छायणं नमो सब्बसाहुणं येसो पंचनमुक्कारो सब्बपाव पणासनो मंगलानं च सब्बसिं परमं हवै मंगलं चत्तारि मंगलम अरहंता मंगलम सिद्धा मंगलम साहु मंगलम केवली पन्नत्तो धम्मो मंगलम चत्तारि लोकोत्तमा अरहंता लोकोत्तमा सिद्धा लोकोत्तमा साहु लोकोत्तमा केवली पन्नत्तो धम्मो लोकोत्तमो चत्तारि शरणं प्रवक्ष्यामि अरहन्ते शरणं प्रवक्ष्यामि सिद्धे शरणं प्रवक्ष्यामि साहु शरणं प्रवक्ष्यामि केवली पन्नत्तम धम्मं शरणं प्रवक्ष्यामि विघ्नहरण मंगल करण स्वाम वीक्षणो नाम गुण औलख समरण किया सरे अचिंत्या काम सरे अचिंत्या काम सरे अचिंत्या काम।
Namaste Swami ji.
Thank you, JJ and the Vannamin Swami.
Vannamin Swami ji.